Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Hopefully you guys are doing well. Today we are finally in JMRI episode 11, and we are finally going to run some trains. All right, so let's start in JMRI. Let me show you a couple things real quick, and then we will be ready to go. So here we go. All right. We are in the trains menu. Now, currently you will see that we have 6 trains that have been printed. This means that they have been built already, and we have printed their switch list. Now, you can actually physically print the switch list if you would like to. That's perfectly fine. Me personally, when I print these switch lists, I just save them as a PDF, and I view them on my computer. However, if this was an actual railroad and we were going to be using physical model trains, then I would absolutely print these on paper. So, another thing is you'll notice that we have printed every one of these, but we have not terminated any of them. All right, they would say terminated over here. The only ones that say terminated are the 2 restagers. Those don't count because those are done by the computer. Okay, so depending on your railroad, you may want to print or build and print all your trains at once and then not terminate any of them, or you might want to do them in some sort of sequential order. It really depends on your preference. For this layout, I wanted to keep it simple, and I wanted to make it where we would just print all of the switch lists, we'd build all the trains, and then we would not terminate any of them at first until we've built all the trains. And the reason I want to do this is because now, when I start to run these trains, all the cars they're working with are not going to be moved anywhere outside of this one train during this operating session. So what that means is, for example, when I run the CN Interchange train, I don't need any of its cars to be picked up by any of these through trains or way freights, which means I can run these at any time I want to. So as long as I've built them at the same time and I haven't terminated them, that gives me the freedom to run these trains in whatever order I want to, because the cars are only making one move today, and then in the next operating session, they'll make their next move. And depending on who you talk to, that might be what people like. Sometimes, though, especially if you have like a train that's early and then another train that's late, sometimes it might make sense in your operating scheme to build a train, run it, terminate it, and then build a later train, knowing that that later train might, in fact, pick up some of the cars from the first one. That's really just up to you and your preference. But for us today, we're making it so we can run our trains in any order. However, let's talk about the lineup. So here's what we got. We're going to start out with the Canadian National Interchange. We're going to run an Eastbound Thru Train, a Westbound Way Freight. We're going to run the local to Localville from the interchange yard. We're going to run the Eastbound Way Freight and the Westbound Thru Train in that order. Now, do I have to run it in that order every time? No, I don't, but we're going to today. All right, so here we go. Give me just a second. Let's slide over to the interchange yard, and we will get ready to take our Canadian National train. All right, here we are at the interchange, sorry, not the interchange yard, at the Canadian National staging. So the interchange train, let me pull up the switch list. This train departs CN staging. We have a C40-8. We have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 pickups. We're going to be setting all 10 of those pickups out at the interchange yard. Looks like mostly on track 1 outbound, and we have 1 we're putting on track 2 local. Now what we're going to do, we're going to actually leave all of these cars on track 4, and we're going to let the yard crew make that set out because that's their job. All right, and then we're going to slide over to track 3, and we have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11 pickups. All right, and then we're going to take those 11 pickups with us back to CN staging, and we're going to park it. So here we go. First off, I'd like to see where that car is that's going to get set out on the other track at the yard. So that is CN Hopper 109557. 109557. I think that is this guy right here. Yep. So he's going to be set out at their track. All right, well, let's roll. I know there's not a lot of scenery or detail here. That's because I just made this route for demonstration purposes. Although I'm definitely considering, for the sake of enjoying it later, I'm definitely considering adding some scenery and some pleasantries and all that stuff. All right, there's not really much that's going to happen here, so I'm going to go ahead and cut this scene, and I'll see you guys over at the interchange yard. All right, here we go up the ladder into the interchange yard. We're going to drop all of our train on track 4 for now. And then we're going to have the yard crew over here. This case, yes. Later on, he's going to go get that CN hopper and put him on the track where he goes, and put the rest of the cars on the outbound track over here on track 1. So, but that's for the yard crew to do later. Our job is to come in, drop the cars, and move on out. All right, taking a look at all our cars, we see that there is one car we're not taking. That is the Santa Fe hopper right in front of us. So we're going to go ahead and pull the entire cut of cars that we have out and set them on the main. And then we will go ahead after that and put this hopper back on this track, and then we'll go reconnect and head out. Made a rash decision to leave the hopper here on the crossover sort of. Don't really think this is prototypical rail practice, but for us it saves a bit of time, so that way we can just shove here, reconnect, and push it right back where it goes, and then head on out. Well, while we're making that move in the interchange yard, we're going to go ahead and bring out the Eastbound Thru Train. Looking at the switch list for this train, we have 2 setouts. Actually, 2 setouts at our staging yard when we get back. We do have 1 pickup we need to make in the yard, and we're going to be setting out our entire train here in the interchange yard, picking up 1 car. So almost a full swap, and then we're going to, of course, return to staging with 1 locomotive and 1 boxcar. And at this point, we are bringing the interchange train back into its staging. It's going to stop here, and we will terminate that train. All right, we're going to go ahead and bring out the Westbound Way Freight at this point. So this train does have 2 setouts in the interchange yard, but it does not have any work at Wayside Industries. So what we're going to do is we're going to bring it over into Loganville and make it hold the main, because our yard over there is getting pretty full, and we have a train blocking the main, so we're not going to go past Loganville. What this will do is let us have a lead to actually just leave it. All right, here comes our Eastbound Thru Train coming into the interchange yard. We're going to go ahead and bring him to a stop. And once again, this whole cut here is going to be left, so we're going to go ahead and just disconnect and get ready to pull into the yard. We're going to grab our CN boxcar and just continue to head on out, get right on out of this yard as quick as possible. All right, here we have our Westbound Way Freight coming to a stop in Loganville for its meet. We're going to go ahead and turn our lights off and wait for our meet. All right, and out we go with the Eastbound Thru Train heading over to Loganville. We're going to pass right through Loganville and head on into staging. According to our switch list, we're going to go into staging track 2. All right, now at this point, our yard over here is considerably busy, so we're going to go ahead and at least get the train off the main. We can ignore track 4 for now just because no cars will ever get set out there. So we can leave those there and sort those out here in just a little bit. But we're going to go ahead and get the cars off the main and start sorting them into their proper tracks. And here we have our meet in Loganville. Love to see it. I've seen longer trains in my life, but a train is a train. Even though the track is now clear for our Westbound Way Freight, we're going to go ahead and hold this train here because the main in front of us is occupied. All right, just like that, we have finished our Eastbound Thru Freight. So we're going to go ahead and go to JMRI. We are going to terminate the Eastbound Thru Train. So we're going to move, terminate. All right. We also need to terminate the interchange train because we took care of him. Awesome. So far, 2 trains run and 2 trains completed. We're going to go ahead now and finish up the eastbound way freight. Sorry, the westbound way freight. And then I think we'll cut it for this video for this time. We'll see. We'll see how the time's looking after that. All right. So taking a look at the switch list, we have 4 cars that are going to go to track 3, 5 cars that are going to be going to track 1. The cars going on track 3 will be ones going out next time for the interchange train to the CN. And the other cars will be going on different trains, either east or west from the outbound track. All right, first up we have this BN car is going to go on to track 1. Those 2 bulkheads right behind it are going to go to track 3. And then we have 2 tank cars that are also going to go back on track 1. We're going to go ahead and shove the center beam far enough down that we can kick cars. And then that way we don't have to keep shoving it all the way down each time. All right, we're going to make our first attempt at kicking these 2 center beam cars. So let's get it up to about 8 miles an hour or so. Let's see how it goes. And they're off. Let's see how far they make it. Hopefully they will. We'll see. While we're waiting on those, we're going to go ahead and get ready to kick these 2 tank cars. They don't have to take the switch, so we're going to throw them once we get to about 7. Next up, we have this Conrail, the first coil car that we have here is going to go on to track 3. And then the next 2 cars will go on track 1. And then our last box car is going to go on track 3. Looks like we didn't give those bulkheads quite enough speed, but that's all right. We watch and we practice and we learn. Looks like we did those tank cars just about right, though. All right, we got 2 cars to kick on the track 1. I think we let those go a little fast, but it's all right. And then we're going to go ahead and gently shove on back and connect up and shove these cars back on the track 3 to get clear of the ladder. Nice sudden stop there. Good thing we have strong draft gear. If I was simulating a full-on real railroad, I would definitely have stopped right there to make sure the connection was good and check the hoses and everything. But since we're on a model railroad, we'll just go ahead and shove on back. All right, let's get our yard goat out of the way. Go ahead and clear the ladder. Doesn't really matter right now, but I at least want to get the ladder clear. So for now, we'll just clear this first switch right here. the train that's coming through here is not going to interact with the slider at all, so it doesn't actually matter as much. All right, let's head to Localville and let's grab the Westbound Way Freight. And off we go. So let's check that switch list one more time. We don't need the through train anymore. The Westbound Way Freight. We have 2 setouts at the interchange yard. One going to track 2 and one to track 3. So let's see. BN hopper goes to track 2 and the UP covered hopper goes to track 3. All right, well, that UP hopper is first. He's going to go to track 3. And here's that BN hopper. He's going to go to track 2. All right. No pickups, and then we just head on out. All right, now that we're here in the interchange yard, we're going to go ahead and disconnect right after the UP hopper. And we're going to go ahead and get him. Actually, you know what? Change plans. We're going to disconnect after the BN hopper. And then we're going to go ahead and set the BN hopper out on his track, which is track 2. Very good. Then after that, we'll set this UP hopper out onto track 3. We'll reconnect, and we'll keep on heading on our way to staging. Went ahead and decided to give that car a nice kick. Get our switching done a little bit faster. And here we are making our last shove onto track 3. We're going to reconnect and head on. All right, we're continuing westbound to staging, and we will see you guys over there in just a little bit. Now let's make sure and not forget that we have all these cars on track 4. We got to break down still, but I'm going to do that off camera just because we're getting kind of long for this episode. But thank you guys for joining today. Thanks for watching. Please make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And stay tuned for more videos. I will go ahead and do a part 2 of this one. And we'll run the local, we'll run the other 2 through trains. And then that will be it for our first operating session. So I'm pretty excited. And over time, of course, as I add details and things, I'll show that stuff off as well. But thanks for joining today. Please stay tuned for more videos. We're going to go back to the NTB this Friday. And Monday, we're going to be looking at the Coxswain sub. So thanks again. Talk to you guys soon.